are back. As you guys can see, we have electricity in the shop now. Figured we'd give you guys a little update since we got the lights back on. Obviously, it looks a lot different in here now that we have the lights on. Give you guys a little tour. As well as we have a pretty packed video today. One thing I really want to do is get the sim back up and running. If you guys don't know, I actually have a sim and we're going to be using this to practice, especially during the summertime when track days are not going on. That'll help me a lot for next season. So we're going to try and get the sim set up today. We still have all of our bend pack stuff that needs to be built. So we're going to build a little bit of this today. We're going to do a big Q&A because recently we had a lot of new subscribers and I want to make sure everybody's up to speed on everything and all of the new viewers have a little bit of an idea of who I am and what we're going to be doing at the new shop. So very, very excited. But let me give you guys a little tour of the shop now that we have the lights on because it looks a lot cooler in here. And as you can see, the light just like gleams off the floor, which is super sick. So this is what it actually looks like with the lights on. The red strip in the front looks amazing. The two red bays are freaking sick. And then we have this side for storage or for working if we don't want to use the lift and we use the quick jacks. We have all this room to have the rest of the cars and to do a little bit of work if we want to just lift it up, change some wheels or something, super easy. We have all this space. And obviously this area is going to be for the cars that don't move as much. So like the 280Z, we'll talk a little bit about that today. We'll have a car underneath it and then some storage for another car or two right over here once all of this stuff is built. One of my personal favorite spots of the entire shop is the hangout area. So as you can see, we still have a lot of unpacking to do. Nothing's really organized in here yet. We still have stuff all over the couch. We got stuff that needs to be set up over here. This will kind of be like my little editing station right here. And then we have the sim, or if we want to watch Netflix or put on YouTube, whatever the case, we have this station right over here, which is super cool, which we're going to be working on a little bit today. Okay, before we get started, I know a lot of you guys are gonna have questions about what actually went wrong in the last garage video and why we didn't have power. It's a long story, but long story short, let's actually go over here where the power system is. This is our entire power unit. Right there is the battery and right here is the inverter, which is what basically powers everything. Without getting too technical, long story short, the inverter has a power cap and that power cap is sort of like mislabeled, I guess. When we built this place, the inverter's power capacity basically said that everything that we have in here, it would be able to handle. Well, it turns out that having 3 lifts, the lights, everything else that we use in here, like the big fan that we have, the power tools, all of that is a little bit too excessive for the inverter. So basically when we first put these lifts in and we tried to power them on, number one, there's a special setting within the inverter that deals with heavy loads. That was not on. So when we tried to power the lift, for lack of a better term, overclocked the inverter, which turned it off and had to be completely reset. So I tried to reset the system with the battery. That didn't work. The inverter itself had to be completely rebooted, which I didn't know what to do. But either way, we're back. We got the lights on. The lifts still do not work. And what we are doing to counteract this is I'm actually getting a whole nother inverter. So we will have 2 inverters, which is double the power to power the lifts and everything else that we have in here. So hopefully this week we will have the new inverter installed and everything in here will be good to go and we can actually start getting to work. So it was a very minor issue, but at the time it really sucked because we didn't have any power for the video, but it is what it is. The power's back on. It looks freaking sick in here and I'm sure you guys can tell. We are going to be making some awesome videos and I cannot wait to see all the content we create and all the builds that are about to come out of this place. It's going to be freaking sick. And first up, what you guys have been asking for as well, the EG is going to be our first huge project in Garage Kogeki, which is going to be pretty cool. Okay, so I'm not really sure on how I want to set it up yet. I'm thinking that we use like this hangout area as our new like sit down video or sit down kind of talk area. It's pretty cool over here. And pretty soon when we actually have all of the cars behind us, which as you can probably tell, we're missing a lot of cars in the garage right now, but we just wanted to get everything in here before we moved everything in here. But I'm thinking we use kind of this hangout area as our new like sit down talking area. This is such a cool spot. And once I figure out and get everything laid out, it'll look a little bit better, but obviously this will do. Oh, one thing I didn't tell you guys, we got brand new storage racks, which looks awesome. So instead of having all of our miscellaneous parts and transmissions and engines on the floor, they're in the rack, which is really, really cool. But as always, I asked you guys to send over some questions on Instagram so that we could do a little Q&A, and like I said, kind of get in touch with all of the new viewers. So we're gonna be answering a bunch of those questions today, and once we're done with that, we'll set up the sim. Tim should be here any minute now. We'll get some of the bend pack stuff set up and actually get our work area set up, so when we have our new inverter in, we can just get right to work. Here we go. Let's just hop right on in. We got a ton of really great questions. I hate that I can't answer all of them because we would literally be here for 5 hours, but I'm gonna pick some of the best ones and the most informative ones for you guys. But before we get started, if you guys are not already, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Over 50% of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed. It takes 2 seconds, just scroll right down, hit the subscribe button. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. In case you guys didn't know, you can always catch a video on those days. I say always, but like 99.9% of the time, unless a video has to be late or I'm out of town and I can't post or something, that's when I do. But let's hop right into look at all these questions. It's crazy. Let's hop into some of these questions here. So a lot of questions about the WRX, a lot of questions about the 280Z. We'll answer those, don't worry. The thing I like about this is doing more than just car questions, like life, business, all of that kind of stuff, to get a little bit deeper, because you guys get to see all car information and hear from me about that all the time. It's cool just to get into different things. We'll start out with a banger here. How do you balance lifting along with social life, cars, family? So basically, how do I balance everything? And it's definitely super challenging. So those of you that have watched the channel for a while know I have so many different hobbies, whether it be gaming, lifting, cars, whatever. It's just finding time to do the things that you really care about, and you'll figure out how to put it into your day. Like, lifting is probably one of the most important things to me, and that's really the hour or so that I can take out of my day where I don't have to think about anything else, and I can go to the gym, get in the zone, and just lift some weights. It's hard, but you always find ways, whether it's waking up an hour earlier, going to sleep an hour later, you know, shifting things around. It's just all about priority, and if something's a priority to you, you'll figure out how to space it. That even goes for building a YouTube channel. If you guys want to do YouTube, you have to make it a priority and schedule it in, whether you stay up the extra 3 hours at night and you get a few less hours of sleep, or you wake up earlier. It doesn't really matter. It's just prioritizing your life and making time for the things that you really love. Ooh, okay, this is a good one. So if you guys follow us on other social medias aside from YouTube, me and Tiana just bought a couple of Airbnbs back in my hometown in Mississippi, and she's currently renovating those right now, kind of building out for her idea in the Airbnbs. And Cam asks, how's the Airbnbs with me and Tiana? They're actually doing really, really great. I'm super proud of Tiana. This is her project and her thing. She's really taken on as like a really cool investment and a couple of investment properties. So she's absolutely killing it. Thanks for asking. Okay, Braden asks, what is the next car that I want to own? That's a hard one, and I have a question for you guys to go along with this after I answer it. So I have a couple of cars that I would like to own next. Number one being an FD RX-7. I've grown to really, really love RX-7s, especially keeping up with Japanese time attack so much. I really want to build an Attack FD. It'd be so sick to have the Attack 32 and the Attack FD, but that's way down the line. I have a lot that we need to do with the Attack 32. Building one race car is a lot. Can't even imagine building two. But I also would really love to own a Porsche GT3 or GT3 RS. That is like my dream ultimatum. My dream ultimatum, like pinnacle car, is a GT3 RS. I freaking love those cars, especially the 992s that are coming out with all the new aero. They're freaking beautiful. So I'd really love to own a GT3 at some point as well. Hopefully we can work towards that goal and actually make that happen. Tons of questions about the WRX. So I saw the WRX, and you guys haven't seen it in a while because it's parked outside at the old shop, and we just have not had time to actually bring that up to the new shop yet. We will be reviving it, don't worry. Tim and I have been working on a lot of plans for a very long time on what we should do. Big ass fly. Get out of here, bitch. Tim and I have been working on a ton of plans on what we should do to actually revive that thing, so don't worry, it's coming back, and it should be back at the shop hopefully this week. Okay, this is actually a pretty good one here. Hey Dustin, how do you motivate yourself when there's something you want to achieve in life and are struggling? This is always a hard one for me to answer because I'm such a motivated and goal-oriented person to where if I want something, I'm gonna do everything in my power to go for it and achieve this goal. And it's all about taking the risks necessary in order to get there. You're gonna stumble along the way. Everybody does. That's the shitty part about going on harder journeys, is that, you know, sometimes you may take a step forward and have 2 steps back, but it's all about how you get yourself back up and push yourself to go even further, which is where do more comes from. You always have to take that extra step and push yourself a little bit harder every time you fall down in order to get ahead. It's always important not to look at where you are, but where you want to go, and never forget that. A lot of people get stuck in their mind when they're in a rut that, you know, in that moment it might suck, but all of the lessons that you learn in that rut help you move forward out of that and improve you for whatever your long-term goal is. So it's all about falling down and how you get back up. As cheesy or cliche as that may sound, it's the truth. Everybody starts somewhere. You're gonna have bumps along the way, but just keep pushing and learning from those bumps. This is one that not many people really think of, and that's how stressful is it making YouTube content, and do you stress about not posting anything? So as fun as YouTube is, it is a lot of work, especially if you're a one-man show like I am. I still edit, film, do everything on my own for my own videos, and it is extremely stressful, constantly thinking about content ideas. As much as it might look like it's fun, like I said, this is a full-on business. Like, all of these cars in here were a business purchase for YouTube, and without YouTube I would not have any of these cars. They're all purchased through the business, so it's a huge business model that I myself is solely responsible for, and that's a lot of pressure, you know. Constantly, like I said, constantly creating content, making sure it's good, making sure we're doing things on time, reaching out to sponsors to help support the builds that we're doing and support the races that we have. And there's so much on the back end that the viewers sometimes don't realize, because it looks like so much fun, which, don't get me wrong, it is. There's nothing else in this entire world that I would rather be doing than what I am right now, but there's a ton of stress on the back end of that, making all of this. And as far as like not posting, yeah, it's terrifying, because YouTube's not like a regular job. Like, I don't have a boss, and like I don't have a set salary, or I don't have a certain thing, or I don't have like a certain deadline that I have to post because my boss is telling me to. You know, it's like I do everything myself. So if I'm not posting, YouTube doesn't recognize that, hey, maybe he needs a week off or something. And it's like, no, if you're not posting and you're not staying on top of things, your relevancy goes down, and your videos, when you come back, might not be pushed as hard as when you had the ball rolling week after week after week. So you constantly always have to worry about, is YouTube gonna push my video? Am I not gonna get any views on this? And if I don't get the views, then we don't have money to fund what's coming next. There's just so much, guys, that goes into it when you're actually when this is your actual career. It's scary. It is. It's very unknown, and I still feel like we are at the very beginning and really the tip of the iceberg of this whole content creator thing. So the future is also very unknown too. That's the scary part. I don't know what's coming next. I'm just here making videos, having fun. And I hope that you guys have obviously been enjoying the videos too. We've been working really, really hard, and we have a lot of really cool plans coming up. Favorite sushi roll? Best sushi roll of all time, spicy tuna. It's a classic, high protein, low fat. It is the best, spicy tuna, all the way. Eric asks, how did I afford my WRX and all the mods to build it when I was first starting out? So when I first started out, I was in college, but I also worked a little bit more than part-time. It was weird. I worked at GNC, and GNC is how I funded all the parts. And then once I was able to start making a little bit of money off of YouTube, I had GNC plus the money coming from YouTube, which helped me get a little bit more expensive parts. And then eventually I was able to make YouTube my full-time career. Oh, also I did freelance videography and photography on the side. If any of you guys are super OGs, you'll remember that Legends was actually a media business before it was all of my clothing and stuff. That's what I used for all my freelance when I was in Mississippi and when I moved to California. This is actually a really good one. What is a fear in your life that you've overcame and you're most proud of? Definitely moving out of Mississippi and coming to California. That was the biggest jump, of leaving my parents, leaving my friends, everything that I knew from Mississippi, and moving to California to take a chance on what I'm doing right now. If I never would have done that, I mean, my life would be completely different. So that's definitely probably my biggest fear that I had, and the one that I'm most proud of overcoming. Quick intermission here. You guys can see in the back of the shop over there. Oh shit. Let's see. Tim Bros here. So we're gonna get cracking on some of that bend pack stuff, but I'm gonna finish up this Q&A. We got a lot more questions to go through, or we'll do a few more questions. Obviously, tons of questions. When's Baby Duck coming? Guys, we travel, Tiana and I both, because you guys know Tiana has a full-time job as well. We travel so much right now that it's just a terrible time. But we're hoping in the next couple of years that we can have a kid. One of my dreams in life is to be a dad. I have the best dad in the world, and that really made me just want to be just like him and be an awesome dad. So hopefully within the next couple of years, or hopefully soon. Also, Tyler asks, can we get a quick rundown of all of your cars? I'm actually going to do an entire video of my entire car collection once we actually have all the cars in the shop. It'll be a lot easier at that point, and we can go through everything. Would I consider getting into karting for cheap and fun seat time? Absolutely. And we actually have a karting track not too far from us, and I definitely like to actually get into that. Tim, did you know we have a karting track close to us? Definitely. That's something that we really want to do. Another person asked, what is my focus for this off season? Because as you guys know, we're not going to have as many track days in the summer. For this off season, we're going to be working on improving the 32 more accessory wise, like getting some cooling in the car so it's not so hot, maybe doing some brake ducts, very like miscellaneous things. We have new LSDs for the car and a little bit of aero, just improving the small things on the Attack 32, and then obviously getting the sim set up so that we can get at least some sort of seat time and some sort of practice, especially for when I go to tracks that I've never been before. The sim will just help me get a lay of the land for that specific track. So the goal is really to focus on my driving and getting some miscellaneous parts on the car figured out. So many people ask about the gym content, and now that we have the shop back home and it's a lot easier for me to get to the shop and go to the gym and stuff, gym content will be coming. I'm not necessarily prep content, because if you guys watched back when we did a lot of gym content, I was prepping for bodybuilding shows and that kind of thing, and as of now I don't have time to do that anymore just because of how much I do travel, and you guys get to see through the videos I'm gone every single month doing something different. Whether it's a different state or a different country, we are always gone, so that's kind of out of the cards right now, but I would really love to do a powerlifting meet at some point, so that's a big goal, and that would be a pretty cool series to film for you guys. Maybe not necessarily as in-depth as like the prepping for a bodybuilding competition was, but I think powerlifting would be cool just to like throw into the videos. So you guys can expect that here and there in the video. What are some things that I do besides the gym that helps relax after a crazy ass day? Gym, obviously number one, but number two, I love games. I love gaming, so I'll hop on Halo or COD or whatever it is and play some games, or just sit down with Tiana and watch TV. I love movies, and especially now, like TV shows have gotten to a point where they're kind of like really long movies, so I'm really liking TV as well. But I love just sitting down watching scary movies or whatever it is to pass the time after like a really crazy long day. Will we be getting a sign for the garage? Absolutely. We're still working on design and logo and all that for the garage, but we plan to have a big neon sign out front. I want the exterior, like the front of the shop, to be really cool, so that when we have people come and visit or friends come and visit or whatever, they have a really cool spot to take pictures of their car in front of the shop. That's kind of the goal. It's like I want it to be like a really cool piece that people want to see. Okay, last question before we get to some work in the garage here, and that is, what is the best life advice that you have for someone who is just starting? And I'm guessing that means like just starting your life after school or college or whatever the case may be, and that is take the risk. Oh God, okay. My biggest advice is take the risk. A lot of people are too scared to make that. Oh, dude, it happened again. You guys witnessed it firsthand. Wow. This is what happened the other night, dude. That's what I'm saying. The inverter's still on, but this son of a bitch, guys. Oh my God. I don't know why it does this. Well, let me just restart that question now that we're in the dark here. It's to take the risk, take the necessary risks. Don't be afraid to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, because that is what is going to make you the person you are in the future. And make sure you don't have that regret of not taking the jump. I used the example of me earlier where I had the choice to take a safe job in Mississippi or literally leave all my friends, family, everything that I knew and move out to California. And thankfully I have amazing parents who are very, very supportive, and they're obviously very proud of everything that we've done here. But my parents also supported me in my journey to move across the country and kind of gave me that push and told me to do it. So that's my advice to you guys, is to take those risks, be courageous, and just don't be afraid to take that chance and do that crazy thing. Whether it's taking time, well, it doesn't even have to be an experience for a job or taking a risk to like move somewhere to like go do a job. It doesn't have to be like that. Take the risk of taking a break for 2 years and traveling the world, or going camping. I mean, I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. It's just taking that risk, no matter whether it's for a job or whether it's for yourself. That's the Q&A. Hope you guys enjoyed. We got to try and figure out this power situation. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A. If you guys have more questions, obviously just leave them in the comments. One of my favorite things to do is read the comments, so thank all of you guys that leave comments for us in every video. But the thing that I've noticed with the inverter is, right here, the inverter is still on, but it powers off when the battery hits 80%. That's exactly what happened the first time this issue happened, and it's at 80% both times. So I think when the solar guy was coming to work on it, when he was trying to power the lifts, he might have put it on like a fail-safe system where it shuts off when the inverter or the battery gets to 80%. That's the only thing I can think of. So when they come back this week, we'll have to tell them about that and hopefully get that issue resolved. But that kind of puts a wrench in our plans again for today, because I really wanted to get the sim set up and show you guys the sim, but you know, it's a work in progress. Also, all the questions about the Z. Yes, the Z is gonna get done. Tim, please tell them what I've told them every single time about the Z. What's going on with the Z?
The Z it's not being forgotten about. Believe me, we're working on the motor. It's taking forever to get parts, and
there's literally nothing Tim and I could do. There's nothing that we can do. Eric has our engine.
It's close. Hopefully within the next month we'll have the motor here.
That's what we've heard for the past 6 months. So
it's not Eric's fault. He's waiting on a couple of parts, and it's the same. The Dock Z still hasn't started yet. Yeah. And he's been having trouble with that one too.
It's just parts, guys, and the thing's not forgotten. There's nothing that we can actively do about it right now. Well, thankfully the solar guys come either tomorrow or Tuesday or something like that. So. All right, guys, so unfortunate ending here. Sorry we couldn't get the sim rolling and do any of the bend pack stuff. That's obviously gonna come. But I hope you at least enjoyed the Q&A and you learned a little bit about me. And I want to keep doing more Q&As as we get more questions and just put them in like random videos. I don't know, because I just think it's cool to get to know me further than just cars. I want this channel to be more than just me and cars, which it is. You know, we do travel videos and stuff like that, but more daily stuff. Now that we have the shop down here, it's gonna be so much easier for me to film just my daily life, because it's not me just constantly sitting in traffic. It's me buying toys for Sparko, him destroying them in 3 seconds, and making our house a complete, this will focus, making our house a complete and total wreck. So yeah, you guys get the point. We're gonna be ending the night on Dut's homemade Bison Locomoco. It's a house favorite here. Tiana is currently in Mississippi taking care of our Airbnbs, which I told you guys a little bit about in the Q&A. So that's really, really cool. So she won't be home till later on in the week. So just me and Sparko. And we are also gonna end our night with watching, let me fix this, with watching some Formula One. I've been loving this show on Netflix. I never actually watched it or really got into watching the races. Ever since I got into Time Attack, I've gotten so much more into F1, IMSA racing, all of that. I really want to download iRacing and start streaming some sim stuff when we get the sim set up down at the shop. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna be watching some F1. Also, quickly, before we end the video, if you guys are looking for a show to watch, I told you guys how much I love movies and TV shows. If you guys are looking for a really good new show to watch, it's on Apple TV and it's called Severance. Amazing, one of the best shows I've watched in a very, very long time. I finished it in 2 days, 9 episodes. It was incredible. If you have the time and are interested, check out the show. It's amazing. But all right, I'm gonna stop rambling on. We're gonna watch Formula One, eat some dinner, and I'm gonna go edit this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you have not already, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I will see all of you guys in the next one with a working shop doing some actual work. I promise. Peace out, guys.